Good evening from Tortoise Ridge. Tonight I am making shepherd's pie. I'm hoping this gets out before our famous St. Patrick's Day, Irish Day, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, I'm going to be showing you how to do a leg of lamb. This leg of lamb you can do several ways. You can cube it up, trim the fat off, and do it in a skillet. That's one way. I find that tightens the meat up too much and it's not as tender as what I want it to be. You can do a slow roast in the oven, which will take you several hours. At 300 degrees, you're looking at a small leg like we're going to be using as a 2-pounder. That's going to take you like 2-3 hours, and you got to keep an eye on it. That's the normal way I do it, and then I cube it up and use it for my shepherd pie. Tonight I'm going to try a new way. I haven't done this way ever, but I'm going to use my Instant Pot. And when I use that, it's only going to take me like 40 minutes. Now the first thing you do is you get your leg of lamb and you got to marinate it at least 24 hours. 48 hours is best. And since Deanna went there, I'm going to take the lid off, and this is what you're looking at. Now my marinade is basically, it's a chicken broth with some red wine. The alcohol in the red wine will break down the tissues. A little bit of liquid smoke, garlic, salt and pepper, and that's basically it. This is what I do for it. A lot of recipes will call for clove. We just don't like clove. I'm sorry, but I can't handle clove, even a little bit of it. I don't know why, I just don't. And I come from an Irish family. Most of my family immigrated from Ireland at one time or another. My mom and her family immigrated after World War II. My grandpa Murphy, he immigrated when he was a child with his family and settled in Michigan. So, anyways, this is where we're going with this. I like to do an Irish pie, or shepherd's pie, Irish shepherd pie. Let's call it that. A brisket, doing a corned beef brisket, that's basically unheard of in Ireland. It's too expensive. That's a very, very, very expensive meal. So most people use the lamb. They'll mix, sometimes we mix ground beef in it. When you do a ground lamb, I don't like doing that. I like using either a roasted lamb where I can chunk it out, dice it out, get it nice and small dices. Or I'm going to try this method, which with an Instant Pot, it should come out shredded, kind of like a pulled pork, or barbecue beef, or barbacoa, something along those lines. We're kind of experimenting here, and we'll see what happens. All right. So the first thing you need to do is you need to take your leg of lamb. This is boneless, by the way. And you take it out of the marinade. Of course, we washy hands all the time. I'm going to reach for a towel. I always have a towel available for me. Now, we're going to remove this netting. The netting is mainly for roasting, to keep the leg of lamb together. We're going to not need that. And of course, we're not going to do that. Just because it would make a real mess when I go to shear this lamb. But this leg of lamb has been marinating for about, 48 hours. Now what I'm going to do is, see this? I'm going to trim some of this fat off. We don't need all this fat. This is needless stuff. We just, you're going to get a little lamb off it, whatever. But the closer you can get to that fat and get that fat off, the best. See how we don't need a lot of fat in this. If I was roasting, I wouldn't trim it. I would do that when I'm cubing it or dicing it out for the pie. But see, we need to shave a little bit of this off. Get some of this big old chunks of fat off. We don't want this in there. See how that it just fillets right off, it's like filleting a fish. Simple, easy, real simple butcher technique. You want to leave a little bit on there, like this here, just chop it off. Okay, got a little bit left on here. We're just going to go right down and trim some of that off. Some more off. We just don't need a lot of fat. The reason you would keep the fat on when you're roasting is because it creates a juice that will melt off, and you got a nice little au jus going on. Okay, that's pretty good. There's a little bit bigger chunk right there that needs to come out. Okay, we're good to go. All right. So what I'm going to do here is wash my hands up again. Washy hands. Now I'm going to put my Instant Pot. I'm going to go to a shear mode, if I can find it. I know it's around here somewhere. Slow cook, steam, no, bean, meat. That's the one we're going to go to. So, brown shear. Duh. Okay, I'm going to let that heat up, and I'll be right back with you. Well, hello again. Okay, we're all heated up. I'm going to pan shear it in the Instant Pot. And then we're going to cook it up. It'll be about 40 minutes. And in the meantime, I will be getting my gravy sauce ready with my veg. Get all that done. So, here we go. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to simply pan shear it. And I should have got this out before. I did not. So I'm going to take the lamb, it's out of its netting, it's laying out. Like I said before, the netting you would keep for doing roast. But here we go. I already sprayed my avocado oil in there. And now we're just going to pan shear it on each side for about 30 seconds. And get it ready to go. We're going to add some salt. And some pepper. And if you notice, we're using a different salt shaker. It's because Tom broke the other one because it jumped off the shelf on me. So, yeah, our automated one will have to get replaced. So we just do a little salt and pepper to taste, get her seared up, and that's about right there. We're just checking it right now. Yeah, it's got a little bit of time yet to go. We want to get it nice and brown and caramelized on each side before we start this. It's a real simple process. And if you notice, I have my marinade still sitting here. This is what I'm going to cook it in. And it's fine to do that. This is what you should do. That's got all the flavor in it. You've been marinating for 24, 48 hours, whatever. Anyways, we go and just get it cooked up. I want to get this sealed up here in a minute. Ow. Yeah, there you go. See, you got a nice little caramelization going on. That's what you want. Now, like I said, I'm going to start off with this marinade. And yeah, it's been sitting in the refrigerator for 24 or 48 hours. It doesn't matter. You're going to be cooking this to a higher temp. If there was any bacteria in it, it's going to die. But the main reason, and this is a little chef secret that restaurants won't tell you, they do this all the time. Because that's where all the flavor is. And they want to put that flavor back into the meat. So whenever you're doing a roast or like this Instant Pot stuff, you want to use it. I even use it on the grill. I'll brush it on when I'm grilling something. So, like I said, I can't say anything more. It's where all the flavor is. You've got everything in there that you need. It's going to make it really good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this off. I shut the Instant Pot off. I'm going to add the marinade. Okay, and that should be plenty in there for what I'm doing. Now what I'm going to do, lock her up. Okay, make sure your pop-off valve is locked and saved. Now I'm going to go to meat. So it starts it off at 35 minutes. I always like to go to 40 on anything that's semi-raw or whatever. It will heat up and start cooking. I'll move this out of the way, get this over here. So now what I got over here is my potatoes and my veg and then other ingredients. I will be proceeding to do that. If you want, you can look at the recipe right here. Real simple recipe. And if you notice, what do we got? Oh, 3/4 cup of a Guinness beer. Ooh, yum. I happen to have the leftovers right here. And guess what? I get to drink it. Okay, welcome back. Hey, guess what? I still got my Guinness. But anyways, on that note, I got 22 minutes on the meat. I'm bringing my water up for a boil for my taters because I'm going to do a mashed potatoes. That will be the crust of my shepherd's pie. I know it seems a little overwhelming, all this, and you can go out and just buy a box of them. Believe me, this is the best way to go. It'll take you a couple hours. It'll take you maybe half a day if you roast a lamb. If you use ground lamb, it won't take you that long. It'll take you like 45 minutes to an hour to make this. You're going to want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. That's important Because once we get it in the ramekins, that's where it goes, into the oven. I have all my ingredients out here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start boiling my potatoes, ready for mash. Now, what I'm doing is I'm adding olive oil to my water for the mashed potatoes. Why? Well, because it doesn't let them stick together. When it gets starchy and it just makes them stick together. You don't need to add any salt or anything, you know. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add some garlic powder to it. I love garlicky potatoes. And so if I put some in here, what it's going to do, it's going to make those potatoes just nice and garlic inside. And so, anyways, I'm going to get my little scraper do thing here. I'm going to add my potatoes.
What kind of potatoes are you using?
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm using Dutch baby potato. Dutch golden baby potatoes. It calls for golden potatoes. I like to leave the skin on because I like that rustic taste. I always have since a kid. So I'll get those going and I will see you in a little bit. Well, welcome back, guys. My taters are done. I'm going to pour them in here, strain them out. Now, I'm going to leave this pan this way. A lot of people wash it out, get all the starch out. That's not what you want to do. You want to leave it this way. We're going to put some olive oil in. Just a little bit, maybe a tablespoon. And because of the bottle, I like to wipe it off. I wanted to throw some butter in there, get it nice and warm. And we're going to make us some, maybe a butter knife. Whoops. Now I got on Deanna the other night about this, not having all her tools out. But we'll work on that. That's one of our things. Okay, now I'm going to melt that up. As you can see, get that nice and going. All right. Another thing I forgot. One of our ingredients. I need some milk. We use an organic almond milk, mainly because Deanna has become lactose intolerant. And doing with age and all that kind of thing. But, so we use it. I've come used to it. We don't drink it a lot, so it's not a big deal for us. But I'm going to take the potatoes. I've drained them. Now I'm going to put them back in here. What we're going to do here, start this up, get it on medium. And then I'm going to add some more butter. Get that out of the way. Okay. Now I'm going to go with, where are they? Oh. Some salt. Now this is all to taste, you know, whatever you guys need to do. Now this, remember this. Whoa. What the fuck? Oh, okay. This is our crust. So I'm gonna put some garlic powder in there. Like I said, it's the taste. I am gonna add some thyme. I gotta find it. There it is. And I'll be putting some fresh parsley on top. But we're going to get this going, get it all mashed up. Yeah, normally if you have Teflon pans, you don't want to do this. Metal on metal, it'll just ruin them. These are the New Wave diamond coated pans, and you can use some metal utensils. Now I like using this one because it's a lot sturdier, mashes up my taters better. And I like using wood utensils. I don't like using plastic. That is just very, very bad. And that's my belief. But I'm gonna add a little bit more milk here. Getting a little sloppy. Let me get this all cooked up. And see, this is what we want. We want a nice smooth look to it. Like I said, I like the skins. That's where all your vitamins are. I just don't believe in peeling them off. I'll clean them up, wash them off, and use them. Other than that, you get a perfectly silky, smooth mashed potato.
Wait.
Alright, now it's time to make a roux for our gravy and for the veggies, and yeah, this is going to turn out really good. I guarantee that. What I'm doing is about 2.5 tablespoons of olive oil, if you want to measure. I go by eyesight, just because. And then we're going to do about a 1/4 tablespoon of butter. We're going to get this going here. Now, once we get this all melted down, and that's the most important thing, and get her melted down. As you can tell, our counters aren't completely even, so I gotta keep tilting it. But we'll get 2 tablespoons of flour in there. I'll show you how to brown it all up, and then we start adding our ingredients.
So why do you use oil and flour? Or I mean oil and butter.
Well, the oil will keep the butter from burning, the olive oil, and it gives it a nice fruity, nutty taste. The butter is for browning the flour. And you want to brown your flour for your roux. Simple as that.
Can you use any flour?
Your basic baking flour is what you should use. It's simple, easy. It's nice. It's nice to use a baking flour because what it is, it's shifted, and all the chunks and gunk are out of it. So it's ready to go. So now what we're going to do I'm going to spread this out. A little bit more. I want to get this nice and going. But that's all the flour you need. Okay, now I'm getting my flour all nice and browned up. As you can see, I got 4 cloves of minced garlic. I'm going to put in there. Get that going in there. This is when you want to get, oh my gosh, the smells in here are so good. I love the smell of roasting garlic. Now I'm going to do my oregano. You want to get this all in there so it toasts, so it breaks open those flavors, get it rolling. That's all what you want to do for a roux. A roux is mainly building up the flavors and thickening. Okay, now my thyme's going in. We're going to get that going. So now what we need to do is I gotta add my chicken broth. We're doing with lamb. So I'm going to do my organic chicken broth, and little by little we add it. Let yourself get nice and thick and gooey in here. That's what you want to look for. See how it is getting nice and gooey and pasty? This is what you're looking for. And you add a little bit more. Okay? We're going to get this nice and thinned out. Keep your heat about 275, a medium heat. And just work it. Yeah, it's a little bit of work, yeah. But I bet you your family's going to love this. Okay, here we go again. A little bit more, a little bit more. Now remember, we're doing what I like to call a gravy sauce. So this is where we're going to end with the broth. You want to make sure it gets nice and stirred and get that look that you want. Now we're going to add the beer. That's the Guinness. Guinness is going in. And we'll get this nice and reduced and thick. We're also going to be, this is where we're going to be putting our veg in here. Now this is the Worcestershire sauce. I like adding that a little bit. You know, a couple tablespoon worth. But it gives that nice, oh, the flavors are just melding together. Smells so good in here. See how it is? And then what we're going to do is let that cook. Okay, now I'm going to add my onions. Red onion, of course, that's our fave. I don't care for anything else. Red onions are the best. And then I'm going to add my peas. And that's 1 cup of peas. now you have a wonderful dish. Let me grab Chippy here, my bamboo spoon. And we're going to just let this simmer and reduce.
You want
Alright, now I add my fire roasted tomatoes. This is what's going to make this meal. I use, like I said, I use everything that's organic. We're going to get this down. I'm going to bump up the heat to a nice little high heat so I can reduce this down. But as I reduce it down, of course, the veggies are going to cook. So there we go with that. Okay, now I'm going to come back here. I have quattro formaggio. Excuse me, formaggio. My Italian's shitty. So I'm going to add this to my baked or mashed potatoes for the nice cheesy crusty taters. Okay, now it's time to do the lamb. I've got this all depressurized. Make sure you do that. Most Instant Pots won't let you do, take the lid off if you can't depressurize it. They're pretty safe. But here we go. Here's my lamb. And now I'm going to take, I'm going to split it up. And look how it shreds. This is what we want for our, and you just kind of cut it up and make sure you go with the fiber of your meat. That is the best way to do it. You're going to lose flavor. The texture's just not going to be right if you don't do it with the fiber of the meat. And you can see this is well done. This is perfect. You can smell the smokiness. Oh God, it smells so good. The garlic and smokiness from the liquid smoke. It's going to be wonderful. I already know. I can just see it being that way. I think I'm going to go with the whole thing. I was thinking of just using half, but more meat the merrier. Add more flavor. See, what I'm going to do is add this to that sauce I just made. And then that way we can get it all in ramekin. Put the taters on top. We'll put it in the oven. Oh, by the way, you need to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. And if you don't have ramekins, bowls work. Smaller bowls, ceramic bowls. I prefer using a ramekin. It's more traditional. Shepherd pie does not traditionally come in a crust. That's a foobar. You don't do that. I've been to Ireland. Of course, I grew up with my immigrated parents and grandparents. That's not what you do. You cook it to the way it's supposed to be cooked. And it's supposed to be cooked in a ramekin with mashed potatoes on top. It was basically poor man's food that developed into a tradition. So, anyways, we're going to continue on here. I think everything's done over here. to a point where we can just start doing our ramekins. I'll do the bigger one for y'all. I'm not going to bore you with doing all of them. But we'll get this done here really quick. First of all, I gotta add this meat. Hopefully I got enough room. I always like doing any sauces or gravies in the frying pan because it cooks it up the best way. I think I got enough room. Maybe. I don't know. What do you all think? Am I going to spill this all over the place and make a big old mess or what? We're just going to try it. We're going for it. Screw it. There we go. There again. I didn't have the right instruments out. But now I do. Make sure this all gets mixed up in there good. Make sure the veggies are in there. And the flavoring and the sauces. There we go. Get it all mixed together. This is what you want right here. Alright, that's pretty mixed together. I'll do my large ramekin here so you guys get an idea what you're doing. Now if you don't have ramekin, like I said, if you don't have ramekins, a small cereal bowl, ceramic, as long as it's ceramic, will work. But like I said, shepherd's pie does not come in a crust. There's no pastry crust wrap or anything. That's just not the way you're supposed to do it. Okay? If you want to do it that way, go for it. I like doing it the traditional way. We're going to get rid of that. Pull another big spoon out. I got my taters all ready to go. I got the cheese mixed in. And then you just layer it. Now, you stick it in the oven for about 10 minutes. All that's doing is getting everything all baked up. Getting your taters a crust.
What temperature?
At 400. I like putting little peaks in it. See how I peak it up? Because those peaks in the oven will get nice and crusty. So there you go, and I will be right back with after I bake them.
Okay.
All right, here we go now. There, she's all done, and look at this. This is how it should come out every time. Now, if you go to a pub and they serve you something like this, you know they're a true Irish pub. This is the crustiness of the mashed taters. You got a little spillover, who cares? But this will be our meal tonight. And happy St. Patrick's Day for everybody. Please like and subscribe to us. We really would appreciate it. I know. We're doing baking and cooking right now. I promise you, I have another one I'm working on. It's going to be the day in life of Tomas our tortoise. it's a work in progress. Can't promise when it's going to come out, but it's one of the ones that will come out. End of April, we'll probably be down on our property. We're hoping and praying that we will be there, and you can see the start of our build. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe.